Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you haven't already seen part 1 and 2, then I would definitely recommend starting there, because in those videos I really do cover the basics of what you need to know about moving here. They are all the big questions and they have already all been answered, so do go and check those out. So in today's video we have a whole bunch of new topics to talk about. And I thought a really good place to start would be all about moving your belongings out to Dubai. So I have literally just this morning welcomed 2 of my friends from the UK, and they have come out with just 2 suitcases, and their whole lives are packed just within those 2 suitcases. And that is honestly how most people do it. They don't really ship out loads of things, because a lot of people do move to Dubai just to see how it goes. You know, they don't know for sure if this is somewhere they are going to remain. Whereas for me and my husband, we had a fairly good idea that we would be here for at least 3 years, and therefore we decided to ship out the majority of our clothes. So me and Adam decided to go for the sea freight option, and we used a company called Anglo Pacific, and I will just talk you through my own personal experience and costs and timeline, because that's all I can give you. So to start off with, I honestly had no idea how many boxes we would need or how much weight we would require. So I asked for a quote based on 15 boxes worth of 3 cubic foot. They responded really quickly and they gave me 2 delivery options and 2 costs. So the first option was to have the boxes delivered to Dubai within 7 to 10 working days, and that was going to cost £2,100. Or you could pick the standard option, which would take anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks, and that was going to cost £470. So it was a significant difference in money. It literally was costing a quarter of the price to have it shipped out slowly. And because we had planned our move to Dubai, we were able to benefit from choosing the slow option, because we actually ended up shipping out our clothes and all of our belongings a month before we moved out to Dubai. So that is how that all panned out. Prices may have changed since last year, but the breakdown of that quote was based on a minimum order of 5 cubic foot. At the time that cost £209, and then we would pay £6.60 for every cubic foot thereafter. Our requirements did change during the packing process, because I realized quite early on that it was really hard to get a 3 cubic foot box to 30 kg. So therefore I ended up asking for new boxes of 5 cubic foot, because it was much easier to get that box to 30 kg. And as our quote was based on cubic foot rather than weight, it did make financial sense to use bigger boxes and get the maximum weight out of it than using smaller boxes and not hitting the weight limit. So because of the fact that we changed our boxes and we needed an extra delivery of boxes, and we also asked them to actually pick up our boxes from our home instead of us dropping them off, and we also decided to insure our boxes as well. So all in all, we ended up paying £598, and that was for everything. That included the picking up of the boxes themselves, all of the packing materials like bubble wrap, tape, everything that you would need to make sure that your items are nice and safe, as well as the whole shipment itself. So the boxes literally being shipped from the UK to the UAE. So in terms of the timeline, we had our boxes arrive 3 weeks before they were due to be picked up by the company. 3 weeks was plenty of time to pack everything up and get it ready for the day of collection. And from the date that they were collected from our house in England, we received the boxes in UAE exactly 9 weeks afterwards. And honestly, I have 0 regrets of the whole shipment, because it went incredibly smoothly and it was so cost effective. To put it into perspective, to add on an additional 30 kg suitcase, it costs around £250. So to add on 1 suitcase up to its maximum weight capacity, it cost almost half of what we paid to ship out our entire closets. And I'm not joking you when I say that we shipped out every handbag, every shoe, every jumper, every jean, every top, every shirt, every dress, everything came with us. And some, because I also packed quite a lot of cosmetics and just really heavy things like all of our towel collection. I packed everything. So next up we are going to talk about grocery shopping. For me personally, I do the majority of my shopping at Carrefour, and depending if I'm on my phone or on my laptop, I'll use either their app or their website. And I'd say it's very, very straightforward. You just type in what it is that you're looking for, or you can search by category, add it to your basket, check out, and it arrives at your front door. I really like Carrefour because I find it incredibly affordable, and 9 times out of 10, the thing that you're looking for, they probably do have. I usually place an order at around 8 AM and I would more than likely be getting it delivered at 12 or 2 PM that day. So it's very different from the UK. You do not have to pre-reserve slots later on in the week. It just is not a thing. And I do think it's because the expectation here is that if you need a food shop, you need it that day. Delivery here is just very, very hot and they're on it, you know? The only meat or seafood that I buy from Carrefour is a full salmon, and it does mean that I have to fillet it myself, which I do sometimes have to really mentally prepare myself for, but it's definitely hands down the most affordable way to shop salmon. And then moving on to where I buy all the rest of our meat from, I use a company called Fab. It's a meat and seafood supplier. They supply it in bulk. A lot of their items are frozen, but there is also a fresh selection as well. They do also have a pork menu, which isn't available on their website. You have to WhatsApp them and ask for it if you would like to see it. In terms of whether you do or don't go into a supermarket, it is completely up to you. I do from time to time pop into a supermarket, but it's very rare. The pros of getting groceries delivered is, of course, it literally comes to your front door, and if you don't drive like I don't, it is a lot easier getting someone who's got all the right equipment, all the right trolleys to bring it up to your door, rather than you lugging it into a lift and trying to get it to where you live. Also for me personally, I just budget so much better if I am shopping online rather than going into a supermarket, because I end up just picking up everything. The cons of online shopping is, of course, you do not pick the item that you are delivered. So you might not have chosen that expiry date, or you might not have chosen that specific lettuce. So yeah, you are kind of putting the fate of the food shop in someone else's hands. And also you're not in control of how much plastic is then used in your food shop either, because say if I was to go into a supermarket and pick up carrots, I would not put that in a plastic bag, because I am very happy to just place them on scales that everyone else has used, because I'm taking the skin off of my carrots anyway. It makes no difference to me. So that is the only thing. You are not in control of your plastic waste if you do a home delivery shop. There's also an app called InstaShop, and that is a really popular app out here because it covers a lot of supermarkets as well as a lot of independent shops, pharmacies, pet food suppliers, butchers, florists, and even some restaurants are on there as well. It is a really cool app purely for the fact it covers those smaller corner shops out here that don't have their own website where you can't place your own order with them directly. If you're from the UK, I think you will be particularly interested to hear that there are places where you can buy British food. So first up is a shop called Kibson's, and this is an online retailer only, and you can order through their app and online as well, and they stock a really large selection of Sainsbury's foods. We also have Waitrose, Spinneys and Marks and Spencer's, and all of those are physical shops that you can go into, but you can also place orders through InstaShop. And interestingly, for Marks and Spencer's, you can also place an order through Deliveroo. There are just certain things that you might miss from home, including a really gorgeous, thick, fluffy loaf of bread. You just won't be able to get them from anywhere unless you are in Waitrose or Spinneys or Marks and Spencer's. Another app that is definitely worth mentioning is an app called Noon. And when it first started, it was almost like Amazon, but for groceries. So you could place an order of carrots, potatoes, broccoli, and all of those items could be coming from different retailers, but someone would just go around and pick it up and then bring it to you. They now also offer the delivery of home products and also takeaways as well. So it is a good app to have because it does cover a lot of places, and it might be a better option than InstaShop in some cases, because with InstaShop you choose your shop and then you pick the items from that shop, whereas with Noon you are picking your items and then it's selecting which shops shops they pick it up from. You might be thinking, well, why would anyone choose Instashop over Noon? But it's just that sometimes Noon may have a higher premium because of the convenience that you're getting. Also, this is completely bonkers to me, but if you live in downtown Business Bay or the Design District, then you can also benefit from the 15-minute guaranteed delivery with Noon, which is crazy, right? So you basically place an order and within 15 minutes they guarantee that it will be at your front doorstep, and if not, they will refund you the money. I've only used this once and it arrived in 12 minutes. I honestly could not believe it. It's not something that I would be doing regularly. I had COVID at the time, I needed some milk to have a cup of tea, and I just could not believe that it arrived in 12 minutes. It really blew my mind. Kind of sticking with the grocery theme, but I'm now moving on to the water subscription delivery service. People are very wary about drinking just tap water, and therefore people do buy into a subscription service because it's filtered clean water and that's kind of guaranteed. So how it works is you get given a coupon booklet, and the company who sold you that coupon booklet will tell you what day it is that they come to your building to replace that bottle. So it's usually weekly, and what happens is you will get given a 5-litre bottle of water. You will then drink it throughout the week, and if you need it replaced the following week, you pop the empty bottle outside your front door and you put a coupon with it. So when the delivery team turn up to change your bottle, they will pick up your old bottle, take your coupon and give you a brand new bottle of water. In terms of payment, you pay for the coupon booklet up front. It cost me 75 dirhams, and that was for 12 bottles of 5 litres. And then actually getting the water out of the bottle, because it is so heavy and so big, you will definitely need a water pump gadget. I will link in the description box the one that I use because it is so good. It charges by USB. It literally lasts me about a month at a time. It comes with a little on and off button, almost like you're turning your tap on and off. This next one is super simple, but I get asked this a lot. So people ask me, is Dubai truly tax-free? In terms of your salary, yes, it absolutely is. You do not get any deductions on the money that you earn here. So when you are looking for jobs and it tells you the figure that you will be getting every month, that is truly the figure that will come into your bank account. So there's no national insurance, no tax, and of course no pension. So people are often curious about the lack of pension in the UAE. You do usually get an end of service lump sum of money. Also, if you are here but you still work for a UK employer, because you are earning your money in Dubai, you also do not get taxed on that either. So you just have to let HMRC know that you have left the country and you are now working abroad permanently, and therefore you will no longer have to pay tax on that money either. Another really popular topic that comes up is how does everything work with regards to going to see a doctor? It all depends on the type of health insurance that you have. In the UK, you are registered at a specific doctor's surgery, whereas out here you don't go to a specific place to go and see a doctor. It will depend on both what you need to see a doctor for, but also what your health insurance covers. So if you come out here and you get a job, they will give you health insurance. That's absolutely mandatory, and within the documentation that they share with you, it will detail exactly what your health insurance covers, and it will also tell you which clinics are available to you to use your health insurance at. That is how you will decide on which clinic or hospital it is that you go to. Also, just a side note on this, if you feel like the insurance that you are given by your employer is not enough for what you want to have covered, you are well within your right to go and take out a policy yourself and pay for that yourself. If you have your own business, then of course you are in complete control of setting up your own insurance. If you are looking to be sponsored by your husband or your wife or your parents, then you have to already have health insurance before you can even put in your application to be officially sponsored. Another super popular topic is all about how you go about making friends in Dubai. I would say that there are 5 main ways of making friends, and the first one is probably the most popular. It is through work, through employment. Thinking about the people that I know personally, that is where they have made their best friends. It's all through work. And someone like my sister who works for Emirates, you know, she flies with a different set of crew every time she goes on a flight. So she has a brilliant opportunity to meet loads of different people. The second way to make friends is through hobbies. So I don't actually really have any hobbies, I'm not gonna lie. I don't go to a club, I don't have a sport, so I have not made any friends through hobbies. I guess in some ways holidays, that's quite an obvious way to make friends because you'll be hanging out with people that have got similar interests to you. So I know people who have made really good friends through football clubs and paddle tennis clubs. Paddle tennis is so popular out here, by the way, but I also know people who have made really good friends at their gym. The third way to make friends is definitely through other people that you know. So this is how I have made all of my friends in Dubai. It's through other people being very kind and welcoming me and inviting me and letting me join them and be part of their circle, and I will be forever grateful for that. I do feel like Dubai has a very more than merrier, everyone's invited vibe. It's just a very vibrant place, and there's always something to do and someone to meet, and it's just really refreshing. So moving on to number 4, I would say that it is not the most conventional way, but it's a way that definitely works. People use Facebook groups to make friends. So I often see both male and females putting themselves out there on Facebook groups, introducing themselves, saying what hobbies that they're into, and just asking, does anyone want to hang out? And these posts often get flooded with other like-minded, similar people. I've seen some really lovely conversations go on online, and then they will all go out for dinner together or all go out for drinks together. It's not just for people who like to party either. I have seen posts from other people saying, I'm going to go paddleboarding this weekend, would anyone else be up for it? You could potentially put your own post out there and share a bit about yourself and what it is that you're into, or if that feels way too out of your comfort zone, then you could just keep an eye out to see other people doing that, and then you can get involved that way. In terms of actually finding a Facebook group, I mean, there are just so many out there, and there really are Facebook groups for everything. There are Facebook groups out there for business women in Dubai, dog owners in Dubai, for girls in Dubai, boys in Dubai, boys who like football, Brits in Dubai. There's just so many Facebook groups out there. So just have a good search around one day and join the ones that you think might be suitable for you. However, I just want to point out that sometimes admins will not let you into the groups until you are actually residing in the UAE. And then the 5th and final way of making friends, I would say, is just talking to everyone. And I mean everyone and anyone. So I have been in the lift before in my apartment building, and I met a lovely girl in there. We literally bonded over a minute lift journey, and by the end of it we had exchanged numbers. I'll also talk to anyone whilst I'm out walking Bonnie, and I've definitely made friends through that. I just feel like everyone that is here doesn't necessarily see themselves retiring here. I mean, let's face it, health insurance will be so expensive when you are past 60. So I just feel like there's this communal feeling that there is a temporariness to Dubai, and the length of that temporariness might be 6 months, might be 3 years, it might be 20 years. But because of that, I just feel like everyone's here for a good time, and literally they're not here for a long time. I feel like everyone is very warm, very welcoming. It's not even down to whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. It's just about having the option to go out and do something and be with people that you are comfortable around whenever you do feel like you want to socialize. So yeah, I hope that does give you some insight into making friends. But if you are watching this video now and you are in your hometown and you are thinking about moving to Dubai but are worried about making friends, I promise you, you will make friends. You just have to be an open book, and you've got to say yes to things as well. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the kind of unknown territory of asking for a discount. This is a really strange one, but honestly, out here, everyone asks for a discount. This is something that I have really struggled to adjust to because it feels so bizarre doing it. That's just not something we do in the UK. It's definitely for more service-based things. You wouldn't ask for a discount in the taxi or in a clothing shop, for example. And I honestly would not say that I'm comfortable to this day asking for a discount, but I have saved a few bob or two. Something else that I think is very interesting and something that I feel is my duty to share with you is all about timings, okay? So, and where I'm going with this is that if someone tells you they are going to meet you at 9 AM, assume they are coming at 10 AM or 11 AM or maybe even 3 PM. It really could be any time but the time that they've told you. And that is something that I have really had to get my head around. And because of that, I've also found that I have to be a lot firmer when I'm agreeing a time with someone. Of course, I am never ever rude to anyone, but if I am booking something in for 9 AM, I will also say that if they're not here by 9:30, then I will have to go. Again, it's a really uncomfortable thing to do because you feel really bossy and also a bit weirdly really direct. But if you don't do that, people will literally just assume that you are in all day. So yeah, if you're agreeing a time with someone, be firm, be clear, be nice. Next up, I wanted to talk about the tipping culture. So basically, in a nutshell, no one expects a tip out here, but of course it is so greatly appreciated. But it is completely up to you whether you do or do not tip. No one will give you any backlash if you do not tip. Like, I know in America, if you don't tip, you literally get called out on it. So that does not happen here at all. So it's really up to you whether you do or do not tip in, you know, restaurants and cafes and bars, and likewise with taxis actually. If you are paying with cash and it is very close to the amount that's due, they would probably assume that you would tip them that little round up. For services like having a cleaner or a delivery driver, I do feel there is definitely more of an expectation to tip, because honestly the amount that you do pay to have a cleaner is so below the amount that you would be paying in the UK that I struggle to think that anyone would think it's okay not to tip a cleaner. Also likewise with the delivery drivers, they are out working, doing back-to-back pickups and drop-offs. They are very hot, they have to stay focused because they are driving on, you know, quite busy roads, and their uniform is a lot. You know, they've got a big helmet on, big boots, so truly the minimum is giving out a cold bottle of water. Some people like to give more, so I will always give a cold bottle of water and a pack of Oreos. And if I do not have a cold bottle of water in my fridge, then I will always give them money. I do make the effort to have my fridge stocked with them, but in the unusual event that I don't have it, then I will always give them money so they can go and get themselves a bottle from the shop downstairs. I remember my sister telling me when I first moved out here that anyone who can afford a takeaway can also afford to look after the person who's delivering it to them, and that has always stuck with me, and therefore I have never had a driver come to my door and has not been given at least a bottle of water. So yeah, I stock up on the 300 milliliter bottles, which is perfect for them. They don't want to take a huge thing of water because they can't realistically carry it or drink it quick enough. So a little bottle of water is really appreciated. And then something like Oreos is a nice little sugary snack. It's not going to melt, and yeah, they appreciate it a lot. So that is the end of part 3 of everything you need to know about moving to Dubai. And as you can probably tell, the direction of these videos are starting to go off into the day-to-day living. So yeah, I feel like I've got so much more to share about being here and living here and just the things that I'm discovering on a daily basis. If you found any of this information useful, then please do let me know in the comments. And of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, then drop them below and I will pick them up in a future video. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video.